can provide an incredible amount of opportunity to you and your organization, and install, a whole home security offering that is, very compelling, and can help you in your business, right? So that's really what we're talking about today. Is, hey, all the opportunity that Ring can bring to you. On the call today, we wanted to start off because, again, the Snap AV locals are all around the country, right? So we want to make sure that you see who the team is, and the team has grown, right? So Andrew Voyanidis, he runs the Install Solutions channel. He's the general manager globally, right? I report up into Andrew, national account manager with Ring. And then we have Roman Zariba on the West. All the contact information is there. Rich Way out of the Central region. You got his contact information there, and Mark Lee out of the East. So if you're buying from MRI and have some questions, hey, certainly reach out to Mark. If it's all net, and you have some questions out of the Texas or Chicago, Minneapolis, in that market, hey, Rich Way is your contact. And then certainly if it's a Volutone or Custom Plus out there on the West Coast, he would be a great contact for you as well. The thing I call out here when we talk about this map is we're a team that's centered around custom install. That's the passion that we have, is around the CD and the custom install channel, and working with dealers and distributors. And we have a whole history of that. So that's something that our team, we're built around. And that's why we're here at Ring. We are making changes. We're a different organization today than we were 3 years ago. But, when we think about Ring, most technology integrators see Ring as what? Doorbells and cameras, which is not a bad place to be, right? I mean, that's how we got our name, right? By a video doorbell, and seeing, who's at the front door, sort of, for the video doorbells and security cameras, right? And having lights associated with it. But that's, if you think of Ring and that's what you think of today, then I think you're missing the opportunity that Ring has, right? Because we have doorbells, we have security cameras, we have alarms, right? We have an alarm system. We have lighting and smart Ring lighting that we have as well. We have transformers that can help and work with existing low voltage lighting. We have partnerships, and today we're going to dive deeper into our partnerships that we have, right? So if you're a Savant dealer, if you're a Lutron dealer, we have an avenue that can make your installs even better. So, certainly that's what you think about doorbells and security cameras. And that's what got us, to this point. But we're so much more than that today. And that's what we want you to take away with for today. Because again, we're not the same company that we were 3 years ago. So today we're going to talk about the X line. We're going to go over features and benefits of it. We're going to do some smart home integration and then advanced settings. Again, the X line, that's specific for the Pro channel. You can't go into Best Buy and purchase it. You can't go to Home Depot and purchase it. It's specific for this channel. And so we want to make sure you understand the value behind what the X line offers. And we want to be able to have you understand all the features and benefits that come with that, and also of Ring as well. And also, I think what you folks on this call are all about is smart home integration, and taking all these various products and having them work together so the end user, the customer, has a great experience in their home with all the smart home integration. Because I think there is such a thing as DIY, and they could do it, but they don't deliver at their own installation. They don't deliver the experience that you, the technology integrator, can deliver. And that's what's going to get you the referrals. That's what's going to get you the recommendations, et cetera. So advanced settings, again, having you, the installer, the professional, install our solutions better than most, right? But we do start out with the making neighborhoods safer, right? That is our mission. And I think a lot of people, sure, okay. But it actually is something, because if you can make a neighborhood safer, you as an integrator want to install not just in a single home, but you need that home to turn into community referrals. And I can tell you, I hear it time and time again is, hey, I work for Ring. Oh, wow. You know what? I use it. And the wife or the woman of the house says, oh yeah, I have it. And they don't talk about Ring flat-footed. They actually pop up and say, wow, you work for Ring? Oh, let me show you my stuff. Look at this neighbor app. And look what I've seen. My camera caught my neighbor climbing over my fence to steal my kid's bike. That's a terrible example, but that does happen. And that is what we're trying to accomplish, like a safer community. And when you, the integrator, are associated with installing Ring, you're then going to get that referral from the people say, who installed that for you? Oh, my person, my guy, my gal, AV, AV, whatever. Right. So that's how you get referral, but it all does start with making neighborhoods safer and our mission. And we are true to the mission of Ring. So X-Line, right? We're going to go over features and benefits, smart home integration, and advanced settings. On the X-Line, I'll turn it over. Hey, Rich, do you want to jump in and go over the X-Line?
Sure, I'd love to. So guys, I'm sure you have seen X-Line on the shelf. It's the nice shiny and matte black boxes. X-Line has been out for what, about a year at this point. We've gotten a lot of good press, we've gotten a lot of good results from our dealers. If we wanted to take the X-Line and kind of elevate it over our current product offerings, if I wanted to throw things and as simple as possible, the biggest takeaway is this is a line of products, professional products for you guys. Same hardware as the retail variant, but we now include the 3-year extended over-the-counter exchange warranty, as well as a lifetime subscription to the protection plan. So as soon as you install that product, your homeowner is not going to be on the hook for the $3 a month that they normally would pay if they got a Floodlight Cam regular. The Floodlight Cam X and all of those bundles of benefits follow exclusively through the professional channel. So this is not available at Best Buy. It's not on the retail shelves. It's not available online, only through quality distributors like the Snap AV locals. So as we continue to develop this product, I want to thank you guys for the adoption that you guys have had. It's actually performed much better than we anticipated. And AllNet and MRI, Volutone, all of these guys have done a really great job keeping this product in stock. And you guys have done a fantastic job of adopting it and putting it into your business model. Covering what those products are, going from left to right, you've got the Ring Video Doorbell 3 Plus X, rolls off the tongue. I wake up thinking about it. We've got the Pro X, as well as the Elite X, and now the Elite X Access Controller Pro bundle, which also just rolls off the tongue. You can write that on the back of a napkin or a CVS receipt. All of those products kind of all have the same thing: 1080p video, night vision, two-way talk. You can get motion alerts, doorbell dings, just like you would with the normal Ring video product. One thing to note kind of is the power source behind all of them. If you don't have a power source and you're wanting to use X-Line, that's where the Ring Video Doorbell 3 Plus X comes from. It's got a removable battery, but can be dual powered. So off of the doorbell or just put up on the wall with its replaceable and rechargeable battery. If you have a power source, go with the Ring Pro X. That is very slimline, 1080p, really wide field of view. It's very slim with multiple different faceplates in the box. And then there's a whole bunch more that you can get on ring.com. Speaking of getting new faceplates from ring.com, we move on over to the Elite. The Elite is where you want to kind of strive for, right? It's our PoE product. You get a hardwired network connection, so you're not dependent upon the Wi-Fi. Although if you need Wi-Fi, Eero is a good solution. I'm just saying. If the Elite also includes a redemption form for a $129 solid bronze faceplate. So a premium offering included in the price of that product. So you get a flush mount PoE solution. And then when you bundle it with an Access Controller Pro, now you're able to have that front gate open whenever the front door station gets rung. Directly from the app, directly from the live view, you can open up that gate. You can open up the front door walkway gate with a cellular or Ethernet connection. That's kind of rounds out what the video doorbells look like. Moving on to the next slide. We're covering our security cameras. Again, this comes to power source and what your company needs. So on the far left is the Stick Up Cam Elite X. That is a PoE product. One thing that to note about all of our PoE products, I'm a big fan of PoE. You can get a hard wire there. You don't have to run a separate power cable. But our products are PoE powered, but they also can run off Wi-Fi. Why would you want that, right? So the detached garage in Chicago is very, very prevalent here. You don't necessarily have to get a Cat 5 all the way from the garage inside the home or do some sort of weird point-to-point. You can simply have the Cat 5 providing power and then have the camera run off Wi-Fi. So you can get just one single small Cat 5 outside of the garage and have it powering inside the garage, and as opposed to drilling, say, like a 2-inch hole to get that big power connector off of, say, the Spotlight Cam wired that's on the far right. The floodlight cam is very typical. We'll cover it a little bit more in depth, but all of these products have HD video, 1080p, the live view. There is a user-enabled siren and a firmware upgrade that just happened just a couple of weeks ago that now says when our alarm system, which is right here, when that detects a siren, you can actually have all of the security cameras initiate their siren as well. So now those guys that have been asking for an outdoor camera or an outdoor siren, we now have that capability through what we're called linked devices. And then lastly, the Spotlight Cam mount, Spotlight Cam wired. The mount is simply hardwired to a single gang junction box, and the wired comes with a 20-foot umbilical cord that you plug into an outlet. You can buy an adapter kit that makes a wired into a mount if, say, they're out of stock or your homeowner wants a more permanent solution. Floodlight Cam and the Spotlight Cam have integrated LEDs. The Floodlight Cam is 1800 lumens, whereas the Spotlight Cam is 800 lumens. So it's not as bright, but it's got the integrated LEDs and fits in a lot more smaller areas, whereas the Floodlight Cam is a dedicated floodlight with a camera.
Yeah, no, and I just, Rich, great stuff. I was just talking to a dealer last night. He was talking about the Spotlight Cam mount and how he was able to have it trigger an auxiliary light on the porch. So when the motion sensed and it turned on the ring light, it was able to trigger another light on the porch. And the owner was really impressed by that. And so he called me. We talked about a few things, but that's what he had brought up, that why he's moved to the Spotlight Cam mount as well as the Floodlight Cam.
Yeah, we always forget about the traveler that's inside of that thing. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah. All right. So the X line, and Rich, what's the message to the integrator? And this is what we talked about as well on the RMR. Is there any chance that Ring would provide an RMR message for an integrator?
So with the X line, we went through a bunch of financial models to look at it. The $3 a month, how much you realistically expect to get out of it. There's not a lot of meat on that bone. So instead of setting up an account and getting, I don't know, 25 cents per month for each X-Line camera, what we've done is we've raised the price by anywhere between $100 to $150 on the retail side. And then that additional margin, we pay you up front that gets you that what we would consider an RMR. So typically around 30 bucks, we pay up front in that additional margin into the cost of the product, as opposed to giving you 25 cents per camera. That it works out to be an upfront discount as opposed to a recurring monthly revenue. So you can kind of take your business model and look at it any way you want, but selling an X-Line product over the regular product gets you that extra revenue that normally would go to Ring at $3 a month. So if you wanted to take that into consideration when you're selling it, you can do that. From the consumer side, the easiest way to sell this product would be to say, Mr. Customer, here's a bid. It's $15,000. I've got Ring cameras on the front door in the garage. I've got, your Sonos. I've got some other products. I've got Lutron. They're all going to work together. But at the end of the day, you're still on the hook for $6 a month with Ring to get that cloud service. So here's $15,000, and now you owe $6 a month. With the X-Line, if you include X-Line in your bids and proposals, it'll be $15,500. then you don't pay any monthly fee for the life of that product. And if you ever decide to upgrade, you simply take that product, either move it to another property or give it to your grandkids or give it to your neighbors, and then they'll receive those X-Line benefits of having no access fee whatsoever.
Correct. No, good explanation. And I think that's what we're trying to, again, that's the difference of Ring as a product line that's specific for dealers and how do you benefit. And I think the X line, as you know, we've talked about it, team, is that it gives you that concierge level of service that you know, all the technology integrators across the country want to deliver. And so that's why we're pretty excited about the X line and the success that we've had with that so far. Mm-hmm. So the next one would be that we're going to go over is like features and benefits to make sure you guys are all dialed in. And I thought Mark Lee would be a good person to kind of take us through this portion of the presentation.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that, Todd. And Gary, I got to say, you're pretty much the ultimate hype man. I might need you to come to every training with me moving forward and present, you know, every time I present a slide.
Maybe it's you know, I play guitar. Maybe it's the band thing, or maybe today's the Golden Globe nomination. Something like that. No, I pale in comparison to what you guys offer, the product that you have. So let's continue, guys. Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Cool. So I just want to tee up and kind of talk about some of the updated benefits that we have directly within the Ring application itself. And a lot of this technology we've had available in our hardwired devices, but we just have done some recent updates that have incorporated a lot of that hardwired benefits into our battery powered devices. And why I want to bring this up is twofold. One, it allows us to actually have that conversation with existing customers that might have battery powered devices and get back into their home to show them some of these major updates, especially with these motion zones. And the other thing as well is it shows you that we always take in consideration the stuff that you, the integrator, mentions to myself, Rich, Roman, to make sure that we incorporate the advancements that you want to see and put that directly inside the app. So if there's anything that you take away from today, please make sure that if there is something that you like or want to see inside of the Ring application itself, come to us, let us know. And that way we can incorporate it. And if we can't, you know, at least we'll have those conversations with our team to see when down the line we might be able to do so. But first and foremost, the biggest thing that I want to talk about is the motion zone. So if you've ever set up a battery powered Ring device, you've probably seen that the image that you see on the top part of the screen, which is our advanced motion detection. Now, with that in mind, you see that there's about 4 zones that you can turn on and off at any period point in time. And I know that you and your technicians are going through it and you are turning these on and setting the right criteria based off of where your customer lives. But if you look at this image right directly here, you see if that middle section is selected, it's still focusing on the road. So if a car goes by, in some senses, it's going to sense that and it's going to give you a motion notification. And this, as a result, sometimes goes to your customer. They turn off that notification because they don't want to be notified. So what we've done recently is we've added that customizable, drawable motion zones, what you see directly on the bottom side of the screen. We've added that to our entire product lineup, not just our hardware devices like they've always been, but also into our battery powered devices. So what I recommend doing is making sure that your technicians are setting this up when they're in their field. And if you do have customers that have either called you up about motion zones or, you know, if you know they have battery powered devices, maybe give them a call and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs., let me come back out to your house. I can increase this motion detection for you. And maybe at that time, you can also talk about other technology that can be sold inside their house or make it integrate better with maybe say devices like Alexa integration, new Sony, Samsung TVs, or things like that as well. But this is a great way of really bringing together that whole entire combination. Now, if we move on to the next one, another technology that I really want to talk about is our people only mode. Now, we've added people only mode a few months back, and people only mode is a special setting in your notifications that will set your Ring up to only alert you to motion detection that has been caused by people. While all valid motion events will still be recorded by your Ring device, people only mode can reduce the number of notifications you receive to only those caused by humans. And what I mean by this is it can be a face, it can be a leg, it can be a foot, it can be a toe. Roman has massive toes, so if he's out there, he might actually sense that and actually populate directly onto the video for you. But the beautiful thing that I like about this is it's not facial recognition, right? We're not in the game to do facial recognition. We take security and privacy very seriously. And as a result, we developed a people only mode. So if it senses that a person like Roman or Rich or Todd's in that screen, or if it's just their hand or foot or whatever it might be, it will start recording. And when it starts recording, will also provide you with a notification. So that's the great part about it. Now, let's say, for example, Bambi's chilling on your front porch. Now, is it going to still record? Absolutely, it's still going to record. And Bambi and Thumper's just hanging out there. That's perfectly fine. It won't give you a notification of that, but it will still record, and you'll still be able to visualize that directly within the Ring application itself. So these are settings that I recommend if your customer is really full-fledged about. Make sure you go in there and you set that directly up for them, and you can see exactly what it looks like directly on the screen right here. Now, moving a step further, and there's actually 2 sections on this. So if you can click one more for me, Todd. What you'll see right here is the Snapshot Capture feature. Oops, go back a little second. It's just one small clip. So if we go back to the previous slide, is the snapshot feature or capture feature. So the great thing that I love about the snapshot capture feature is that many of our integrators and customers are asking, hey, do you have 24/7 video recording? No, we don't. But with our snapshot capture feature, it has both works on our battery and our hardwired devices. The thing that I love about this snapshot capture feature is it takes a snapshot every, we'll say 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 14 minutes to an hour of what is happening in front of your camera itself. This provides a full holistic view of everything that's going on inside in front of your house or outside or inside, depending on if you have an indoor camera set up. And the great thing that I love about that is that now people can get a full view of everything that's going on from dusk to dawn and all the way back cycled around. This is stored right in your video feed, and you can access that at any point in time if you subscribe to a Ring Protect plan for that matter. Now, moving a step further, we also want to talk a little bit more about our rich notifications. Now, our rich notifications is another technology that we just enabled. The good thing that I like about the rich notifications is for those of you that currently own Ring products itself, you know that if you get a notification previously, it would just say, okay, there's somebody at your front door, there's somebody at your backyard, or there's somebody walking directly around. With our rich notifications, it will also now it will now send you a picture of what is happening there. So you can decide whether you want to visualize it or not. So if there's a person at their front door and you know they're going to be there, maybe you don't want to look at it. But if you see that there's somebody there that you don't know or suspect to know, that way you can click on it and go immediately to your live view. So what I would recommend doing is just going into this, you can go into your notification center settings and enable that. Once you enable that, that will give you those rich notifications and always keep you up to date on what is happening in front of your cameras. Now, Rich alluded to some additional technology as far as our X line. Now, he talked a little about the 3+X, and he mentioned that the 3+X was the only video doorbell that had a battery that is in the X line itself. And the reason for that is our pre-roll technology that we have. So our pre-roll technology. And pre-roll is an all-new feature that shows you the 4 seconds of video from before motion is detected. So you can get more context behind what triggered your Ring app notification. This feature has never been possible on a battery-powered video doorbell until we've released out the video doorbell 3+ and the 3+X. And yes, I know that's a lot to say, but this technology really focuses on those 3 sensors that you see directly below the camera. And what it does is it will overlay a 4-second clip onto the actual live view video. That way you can see when somebody enters a pathway and as they're walking up to your steps and as they get to the front door, rather than just that front door set up on a regular video itself. So in addition to that, our hardwired devices have an extra level to this, and it's called our advanced pre-roll technology. So unlike the video pre-roll that's in our 3+ model, which overlays it on top of it in a black and white video, the advanced pre-roll technology has always been available on our hardwired devices. And what that does, it gives you a 6-second clip that's added to the beginning of the video. And it's in full high def resolution. It's full color, has all the features that would be available in the regular live view as well. So all of these technologies are things that we've added into the device to make it all work effectively for every one of the integrators that are on this call. Now, as we take a step further, I also want to explore a little bit more about the Ring devices itself. One thing in particular that I really want to focus on is our link device capability. And device linking connects your Ring devices together to provide instructions for a group of devices to function in a certain way based off your home security needs. For example, a motion may trigger your video doorbell, and that motion event will cause a recording in the same way that it usually does. That's when device linking can take over. If you link your Flowlight Cam and Spotlight Cam to your video doorbell, those devices can immediately turn on your lights and begin recording as well. Then your Ring devices are able to react together and protect you as a team. And what I love most about this is that in my backyard, I have a deck, and underneath that, of course, I talk about this on almost every recording, but I have a grill down there, and I love smoking like brisket or anything else like that. So as I walk down my deck, I can actually have my step light solars automatically trigger my Spotlight Cam to turn on. And as my Spotlight Cam turns on, it actually is visualized directly on my green egg. And when I look at that, I can see the temperature, I can see everything from there. And I can also let the dog out at the same time and make sure that everything is lit up with that 375 lumens that are on the Spotlight Cam itself. So these are great ways of adding a little more features and benefits to your customer's installation and showing them how everything cohesively works together. Todd kind of mentioned this earlier. This, as far as Ring, most customers may think of it as a DIY solution. And it can be in some cases, but they're getting about 60% of what that solution can really do. That extra 40% comes from things like this device linking, from what you, the integrator, do on a day in, day out basis, showing them the full capability of what our products really bring to their lives. So once you set up this device linking and show them how everything works cohesively together, it adds extra layer of security to their home and makes them feel very comfortable with the way everything just cohesively works. Excellent. Now we're going to move a step further and kind of explore a little bit more about the different works with Ring platforms. And I'll turn it over to Todd, and we'll see if you want to flip it back to me or who
Yeah,
does.
no, you bet. Mark, thanks a lot for taking that. And for me, and I talk about the link devices, and it's pretty cool. So in my household, we have my driveway. I have the Ring smart lighting, and so I've got pathway lights that light up. So when my son or my mother-in-law come up to the driveway, it motions the smart lighting, the pathway lights. From there, I have it trigger my Spotlight Cam that's above my entranceway. And so you have to walk up a few stairs. So previously we'd have to, Christopher's coming home, or, my mother-in-law's coming over. Let me go turn the porch light on for her. But in this case, now it triggers itself, and both have commented, and even my wife, that, hey, this is really cool that it triggers the lights, then it triggers the Spotlight Cam, so it illuminates the entranceway into my home, and we don't have to worry about turning on the light. But so it's these type of experiences that I think that you guys and gals can really install that can make a difference and improve the experience for the overall end user. All right, so next would be then on the Works with Ring platform, and I think this is another opportunity that we want to make sure that we share with you folks, to make sure that, hey, this is again something that you can install that makes the experience better. So Works with Ring, right? So there is a Z-Wave, and that's why we've got the alarm hub, and that's my team has seen a lot more integrators approach us and say, hey, I use the Ring alarm for the alarm system, but more importantly, for my Z-Wave as a Z-Wave hub. So for example, a lot of you folks probably install Yale. And so Yale has a Z-Wave lock and a door lock as a door lock manufacturer. And so they use that as an ability to be the hub. And so that's, again, Welly, what we're trying to grow in partners that work with us, so that way you can install it, right? So, Z-Wave hubs are certainly one aspect of it. Garage doors and MyQ and Moen for flow. These are all things that, again, that can enhance a Ring installation. And so I got ahead of myself a little bit.
If you can go back to
Go ahead,
that
Mark.
slide real quick, I just want to kind of tie off on another thing. So if you go back one more. So the one thing that I also want to mention on this slide is that you'll see that there's two different sections. There's a work with Ring, required Ring alarm, and that's for any kind of Z-Wave full integration. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the works with Ring badge. So just take consideration, a lot of these companies that you work with will have these badges on their devices itself, and you can tell what kind of integration and what they require based off of which badge you see directly on there. So if the Ring alarm is required, that's generally for any kind of Z-Wave integration, as Todd alluded to. In that sense, you will need a Ring alarm to make sure that integration works. And that's with things like Yale and Quickset that we'll talk about here in the next slide. And then on the other side that you see over there is our works with Ring integration, which is just a full Wi-Fi based solution integration, or shall I say an IP integration. That does not require a Ring alarm, but can communicate directly with any Ring product in and of itself. That's some of the door lock manufacturers that are out there, as well as some of the other things that Todd kind of alluded to with Flow by Moen and a few of the other manufacturers that are out there, which is pretty cool too. So if there's anything that you take away as far as a smart home integration, just know that some devices will require a Ring alarm and others will not. If it is a Z-Wave device, just to know that you will need Ring alarm to make that integration work.
Keep going, man.
Nice, man. I'm going to tie this off too. So this is one of my favorite things. And when I came to Ring about last year, this is the one product that I just, one of the first things that I've added to my system. And the reason why I love it so much is because, especially during this time and age where we're all about contactless everything, contactless delivery, contactless just in our daily basis. The great thing that I love about this is when you combine a Ring system with a door lock, it has the ability to have your packages delivered inside or let a guest in without even touching the door itself, which is just brilliant kind of capability itself. Now, the two ones that we have on the screen right here, one is that Yale integration. And again, I know most of you are probably working with Yale today. This requires a Z-Wave hub in the form of Ring alarm. But the great thing about that is that both of these ones that we show you here today work with Ring. They're right directly inside the Ring app itself. And they also work with Key by Amazon. So no longer do your customers have to worry about package theft or detection. What they can do is if they're an avid Amazon shopper like myself and maybe my wife is, I feel like I get an Amazon package multiple times a day and maybe 3 or 4 times sometimes a day. But the good thing about that is as packages are being delivered to that front door, and if they're set up with Key by Amazon, which you, by the way, can set up, you can have it so that their package is delivered directly inside their house, whether they're there or gone. They get an initial, the Amazon delivery person will get an initial key, which will allow them to let the package in. The customer for that matter, will be notified when that Amazon delivery person is going to arrive and when they're at their front door. And then within the Ring app, they'll have that live view as well. This can sync up with all those different Ring devices so that that delivery person can drop that package off directly inside their house. And then when they shut that door automatically locks. That key that they were provided with is automatically wiped away, and all their packages are secured directly inside their home. Now, I'm a big proponent of this because I'm I lived in Florida for the last 10 years. And, unfortunately now I live up in Pennsylvania and it's snowing. I got 2 feet in my backyard right now. But a lot of customers that have houses in Florida are from the Northeast, right? And they're vacationing down there or they live down there, but they still get packages delivered. They still get stuff like this. And this is an easy way for them to have all those packages delivered left inside. And it's an easy way for it to be set up directly from you, the integrator itself. So if you haven't explored this, reach out to Rich, Roman, or myself, and we can tell you a little bit more about the Key by Amazon integration, as well as the door lock integration as well. Cool. Now, if you step a little further, another one that I hold true to my heart as well is just the way we integrate with other products that are out there. And one of the ones that I've used for a few years is what you see directly on the screen, this brilliant touchpad, right? The good thing that I love about the capability of this product itself is that it provides a live view directly to what's happening at your front door or backyard or whatever you set it up with. It has the ability to do 2-way talk, so you can speak to your visitors. You can tell them, hey, get off of here, get out of here. I don't want you to be around. Or say, hey, you know, what's happening? Drop the cookies off there. That's the beautiful thing about this kind of integration. And then of course, as a result of that, you also have the ability to adjust your lights up and down. And then another great thing too is the Alexa integration, right? Right directly through the Alexa integration, you can lock and unlock doors. You can do a lot of that stuff, and it really brings together that whole cohesive kind of integration overall. Now, taking another step further, and I know we've been talking about this for a long period of time, right? And I think many of you, if you're on our CDA call back in September, we said, you know, Savant's launching out this 9.4 release, and we're still so excited about it. And, you know, flash forward to January or February, we're still very excited about this release, which we'll be releasing hopefully soon. But the great thing that I love about this is that we're always working with other companies, and we're always looking for ways that we can work, can bring the benefits of Ring into your integrations. And this is one of our first main steps into being able to do so. So we'll be launching an integration with Savant on the new 9.4 release. You can ask me you can ask me when it's come out. I don't know, but I know that it is currently in beta testing, and you had the ability, if you're a Savant dealer, to integrate it directly into beta. And then hopefully we'll have this launched out soon. The great thing that I love about this is that it has the live view functionality. It also has a two-way talk, and it has the ability to lock and unlock doors straight directly from Savant itself. So really great integration. And again, as I mentioned, as we get closer to launch, we'll probably do another webinar just to show you exactly how in-depth this integration really fully is.
Yeah, no, we're definitely looking forward to this next.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. For the next one, I'm actually going to tie this over to the team, or even to Todd if you want, because I want to talk a little about that Lutron integration that we announced back at that same exact time. So I don't know if Todd, if you want to kind of take over this slide itself and kind of explain a little bit more about what that integration looks like.
Yeah, no, Rich is going to go over the Lutron, but look, it's quality brands, right? So when we look at, you know, who we going to partner with, what's going to make a difference in an integrator's world for making their installs, you know, top notch and deliver the kind of experience that we're hoping for. Lutron is certainly one of those brands, right? One of the iconic brands in our industry. And I'll even give it a shout out. I hope you're doing shades with them. And I hope you're doing shades training, et cetera. But certainly all the different things that Lutron offers as an organization is pretty compelling. And so we're excited to work with them. And Rich is going to go over now, like, hey, the integration aspect, and again, how you can make your installs more professional and a phenomenal experience by using both Ring and Lutron.
So this is kind of a new integration where we've always had integration going out to their control system. This is the kind of first one that we're doing bidirectional. So the pairing is quite simple. When you have Caseta or Radio Raw to whatever the first one, not the Radio Raw to Select. That's right. I apologize. You connect your Ring account with Caseta or RA2 Select, and then you select which Ring device would get reactions. So for instance, in my home, I've got my front door and my garage that detects. When motion is detected or a doorbell is rung, that will trigger the selected dimmers to turn on full brightness for 15 minutes. And then once it's done, it's going to go back to its original state. So I don't have my front door at a full brightness at night because I got a 150 watt LED and it would kill anybody that walks by it. But when that detects motion, it's going to go full brightness for 15 minutes. Even when I have it turned off at like 3 in the morning, if that detects motion, that light will turn on. So in my home, it's quite annoying because I'll get motion alerts from Ring. I will get an alert from Alexa to say that someone's at the front door. My Lutron Caseta light will turn on for 15 minutes, and then it will all go back. But at least I know that someone is there. It's usually a squirrel or a skunk in Chicago. Not in Chicago. That's for Tim Charvat over in Michigan to talk about that. But you can choose which lights will interact and which cameras will interact with those. And then they can be triggered on at any times or only at night. It's quite a fantastic, simple integration and a free way to connect the Lutron lighting that you're already selling with Ring. So you can have a really, really good integration with just a couple of keystrokes.
Nice.
Todd, you want to take
Excellent.
this one, or do you want me to keep going?
Keep going.
All right. So as we talked about Alexa, actually, I'm going to say Alex A, so I don't trigger everybody's lights. Just in case anybody's speaking, Alexa, lights on. And then when those lights turn on, you can have fun. So sorry about that. I'm going to refer to it as Alex A from now on. So there's a lot of integration that happens with Alex A and the Echo products. You can say, show me the front door. Then pulls up a live view on your Echo Show or Fire Stick or Fire TV Cube or any of the video products. You can have two-way talk with that person. When someone walks up to my front door, I've got an Echo Show 5 sitting on my desk, and they ring that doorbell, I'll get an alert. It'll say someone's at the front door, and it'll pull up an automatic live video feed of that. I can then talk to them directly without having any other interactions to initiate that live feed. With Alexa Guard Alex A Guard and Guard Plus, we now have glass break sensing. There's been a new update for additional type of detection. So baby crying or a gunshot or loud boom or a cough. You can select all those things within this new updated Guard Plus system. You can unlock your front door. You can receive Amazon deliveries through the Key app. All of those things will work with the Amazon Alexa integration. There is one question that people were asking about using geolocation to automatically arm a Ring alarm. There's no way to natively do it, but through certain skills and some creative thinking, you can make that thing happen. Through what we're calling routines and skill sets within the Alexa app, you can have those Echo devices to announce that there's somebody at the front door. You can make a custom alert. So at my home right now, when the front doorbell is rung, it's going to say, someone's at the front door. My wife's name is Sharisa, and it says, Sharisa, what did you buy now? It is essentially what it comes through. And then you can initiate a whole bunch of other routines through that as well. You can have it ringing to any of the Alexa devices. You can have it ringing to Echo Shows, Echo Dots throughout the house. Moving on to the next slide, you'll have the ability to select one or any of the Echo devices in the home. And then, as I said before, you can select which Fire TV, which Echo product would make that announcement. So, for instance, in my office, I don't need to have detection when the backyard motion is going off. I'm trying to work. I don't want to have that going off. So it does go to my downstairs Echo Show and my Echo Dots, but it does not work on my Echo Shows at my desk, so that I can work. So it is completely selectable, completely customizable. And these are the things that you can do for your customer to give them a little bit more integration and things that you'll be able to do as a professional to make those lock in. So what we've recently discovered, or that we recently announced, is that we also have the ability to do live video feeds directly through televisions you're already selling, through select Sony and Samsung televisions that have either Alexa or the Samsung SmartThings app. When that door button is pressed, that TV will turn on, it'll go to that video feed, show you the video feed, and then after a minute or so, it'll turn off back to its original state. So if you're watching, CSI Miami or whatever CSI show happens to be on at that point, someone rings the front door, it'll scare you and you'll be able to see who's there, and then it'll go back and you can continue watching your show. That stuff is very, very simple. No additional steps or products needed, just need to connect the Alexa app within the television, and then select that you want that video feed to turn on whenever motion or doorbell dings are happening. The other thing that you can do with this integration is having the ability to put that video feed on other legacy devices. Simply get a Fire TV stick, one of the new ones, and you can have that going into a video matrix. You can have it automatically sense and then automatically switch over. So a lot of integrations that I was doing back in 2010 that cost $5,000 can be done with a $30 device into your existing matrix switch. It's some really, really fantastic integrations that happen that you guys can do with their native equipment already there.
Perfect. Now we'd like to jump into some advanced settings. Again, this is setting you up to understand some more of the advanced settings that Ring can offer to make that your install, your Ring installations more professional again and improve the experience. So Mark will walk us through the advanced settings.
Excellent, and there's a few click-throughs in here, so we'll navigate through that as we do so. So this is going to be in your advanced settings inside the Ring app itself. So one of the biggest things that I want to make sure of is when you go out and you're installing products for your customers, that the reason why they'll call you back later on is to install more Ring devices, right? Not to call you back to fix something or an issue that you may have. So these are all tools that you can utilize before you leave the home, as well as if you're on the phone with the customer to diagnose if there is something going on with their system itself. Now, the great thing that I like is it all starts with this device health and this advanced settings location. So in here, you can change your Wi-Fi network as you see directly there. So I can hit network name. We can change that to an additional network in case somebody updates their Wi-Fi or changes their ISP. You can do that all directly from here. In addition to that, you will also notice that on the top here, there is a signal strength indicator, which is formed in the RSSI number that you see directly below, directly on there. Next click, Todd. And then as we click on that, so the RSSI number on the top there will give you an idea of how well that product is communicating back to your network itself. An RSSI number less than 70 is usually pretty good. Anything higher than that, there's a potential for you to have some form of interference or issues. One way to fix that is either adding a Chime Pro or, as we like to allude to as well, making the network better, right? Either adding an Eero system or adding a different Wi-Fi based solution there to make sure that that product is being able to communicate back to your network at a full-fledged rate. Moving a step further, there's also a Ring system status indicator. And the great thing that I love about this, at my previous employer, this is something that was requested for many, many years. And we finally launched it out and it was on a website. And it was a great way to tell if there was something that was down with that, with the software or any of the solution itself. But this is built right directly inside the Ring app. So if you receive a call from your customer saying, hey, my Ring system isn't doing this or that, have them go here and check this out first. In this, you can see if there's issues with ring.com or the Protect system or live calls, video on demand. All this stuff will indicate if it's operational or not operational. If it's not operational, it will give you a time frame on how we're looking to fix it or when it should be done or what that issue that they might be having is. This is an easy way to prevent having to run a truck out and an easy way just to diagnose if it's something that is on the software side on our end. In addition to that, you can also navigate down further to our device health report. The device health report provides a holistic report on how your entire or your customer's entire system is working. I recommend and highly, highly suggest to have your technicians look at this prior to them leaving. This will give you an idea on how the entire system is working, or it might tell you whether you might want to diagnose an issue that could potentially happen down the line. So all of these features are directly within inside the Ring app and are available for you to use at your leisure while you're at the customer's home. Now, if we move a step further, we had a press announcement this past week about our end-to-end encryption. So the end-to-end encryption is a great technology that allows us to make sure that your customer's data and privacy stays with them itself. I'll also allow Rich to kind of allude a little bit more to this, but because he's been working on it for years. But the great thing about this is that it is a direct end-to-end encryption, which means you'll be setting up which phone they want to have that encryption going to. It's a full secure video feed so that they only have access to it. Now, the one thing that I will tie in and allude to is that if you do enable end-to-end encryption, it will kill some third-party integrations. So if you set up integration with something like a Brilliant or a Savant or an external third-party integration, because of how this is incorporated and encrypted, it won't have the ability to send it to those other devices because it will only send it to that customer's information with their token itself. Rich, is there anything else that you want to add to the end-to-end encryption kind of integration?
No, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. We take security very seriously, and this end-to-end encryption literally is that end-to-end. The moment that you enable it, you will break the other integrations that require the video feed. So your Alex A integration, your Samsung, all of the other integrations, that video feed goes somewhere else will not work unless the homeowner or you decide to stop that end-to-end encryption. But there is a path for security-minded individuals to have that capability that other manufacturers and resources don't have currently.
Absolutely. And all of this is set up and controlled through our control center. The control center allows you to view and control important privacy and security settings from one dashboard inside the Ring app. You can see all the devices, the phones, the tablets, the computers that are logged into the Ring account. You can click remove all to force devices to log out, and you have the ability to add devices as well directly from there. And you can view and manage services you authorize to link to your Ring account via Ring authentication. This is the stuff like Alexa, if this and that, as well as the other integrations that we have mentioned and alluded to earlier. So you can see everything that is communicating with your Ring application itself and really easily opt in and opt out, or take away control or add control to those that you want to have access to your system itself. So as I mentioned, please navigate through the control center. I'm not going to elaborate too much on there, but this is where you're going to set up that two-step verification. You're authorizing client details, sharing users, and also visualizing those linked accounts as well. Now, taking a step further, one other thing that I really want to allude to is the best practices that we want to mention on what you should do when you're in the home, as well as following up with your customers after you leave the house itself. Now, with our best practices, there's a few things that we want to actually mention overall. And as we're setting this up and as you're in your customer's home, you should always review before leaving. You should review these following things. One is the protect plans. Now, if you're setting up X-Line devices, mention to them that it comes with a lifetime subscription to the Ring Protect Basic and what that entails. That entails 60 days of recording of anything that's happening or triggering a notification on your application itself. Now, if they're not going with X-Line, they're going with the regular product lineup, mention to them that after the free trial, they will need, if they want to store videos, they will have to opt in either to the Ring Protect Basic or Ring Protect Plus plan, depending on the devices they have in their home. Also, if they have Alexa devices, go over the skills and the type of integrations that you've integrated with them, which devices will be populating when they get a notification. And then also overview how they can add shared users. So with the shared users, as we mentioned earlier, you can enable or disable certain visuals. So if I want my son to be able to visualize the backyard, but not the front door, I can do that. And you can do that directly inside the Ring application itself. In addition to that, there's another thing that we want to talk about, and we didn't really mention it too much on this presentation, but Rich, I know you have a best practice as far as setting up accounts and multi-factor authentications, and what have you seen that's been beneficial for integrators across the US?
So actually, we got this question a little while ago, talking about, let me see if I can pull it up. When Vincent actually asked it, assuming when sign up as a Ring Pro installer, ringpartnerprogram.com, a little cue there. When sign up as a Ring Pro installer, how do we set up a new customer account? Is it through our Pro app or the customer app? There actually isn't a Pro app currently. So the best way to do this when you're working with a new customer, you can actually set this up on the bench if you're managing, so let's say you're deploying a Wi-Fi system in the home and it's a brand new installation. You can set up what's called a smart home email, either hosting on your site as the client. So make it like the last name and the street address, like Johnson Elm Street at audiovideointegrations.com, or a free service like Gmail or Microsoft or some other email address. That way you own that address while you're setting it up. All of your IoT products go in there, your Lutron, your Sonos, all the things that require a username and password. While you're setting that stuff up, do the two-factor authentication either by email or your SMS. Set it all up, do all the motion settings, do all of the alerts, set everything else up. Outside of Alexa integration, that still needs to happen with the homeowner's account. Once that is all finished and you've installed it, you've done it on the bench, you go out to the homeowner, you install it, you make all the tweaks, and you ask the customer, are you satisfied with my service? Shout out to Donnie at Media Systems in Texas, who says that all the time. When you say, are you satisfied with the service so far, and you're ready to hand off that account to the homeowner, provide them the email address and the password and say, all of your accounts are in there now. feel free to change that email address password. Feel free to change all of the other accounts back to your personal if you'd like, or if you wanted to keep that email address as your personal smart home email address. This does a couple of things. One, it allows you to not have to touch the homeowner's device, which I know if you've got techs out in the field and the homeowner's sitting in a 2-hour massage, you don't want to pay that tech to sit there for 2 hours while you're waiting for her to get out of that massage to get her phone. Number two, it puts an insulating barrier between their personal information and your tech's ability to have that personal information. I mean, we've all got techs that have left the company for one reason or another, and then they take, then the homeowner's account may be compromised. There's just a liability there that you probably don't want to be involved in. By putting that physical barrier, the homeowner's not going to go online and use that email address to sign up for a whole bunch of things and using that password for a whole bunch of different things. It just is a best practice to keep the safety and security of those logins. And third, you can send out and do all this stuff on the bench and just send out a tech to go install it. And then once it's all finished and deployed, they verify that it works and then can transfer all that stuff over, allowing you to spend less time out in the field and more time just sitting on the bench in a controlled environment, unless, as I like to call, being led around by the nose by the client that says, well, now this doesn't work and now this doesn't work. You can go in, deploy it, leave, in some cases not even have to be inside the home for that to happen. So that's kind of the best practices for setting up just in general IoT accounts.
Perfect. Hey, that's really good best practices, Rich. I appreciate that. And it does provide for a really good experience for the end user. And then I'd just like to, for just a couple last things before we turn it over to questions is, hey, that lifetime protection. If the Ring device were ever to get stolen, we would replace, for the lifetime of the product, we'd be able to replace that unit, just to have the end user file a police report. Hopefully capture their image with the Ring, but certainly we back you up with a lifetime theft protection. So that way the end user always feels like, hey, you installed a product that backs them up and backs you up as well. And then also lastly, the installer support, the 888-461-9718 is for installers only. And then also the help at ring.com as well. And then the ring.com/help. That's another way in which you can get support. But we want to make sure that we're supporting you guys out in the field and you have a higher level of service. And so that's for installers only. We make the assumption, hey, you've done all the things, you've rebooted it, etc. So you'll get just, again, a higher level of service should you need the support as well. And again, installer support, increasing that, right? So the ringpartnerprogram.com, YouTube, we've got a Ring channel, the youtube.com/ring, and then the godostage.com/channel/ring partners is another avenue in which, and you could scan me the code on the screen for that as well for the QR code. So again, we're just trying to make sure that we support you guys to help, again, this genuine relationship we have with you folks. We really want to make sure that you hear it from us. Hey, we care about your business. We care about you. And hey, we're doing steps as an organization to turn this DIY aspect into a DIFM. And for that do it for me market, we need to support you. And we certainly try. And there's the, for example, some of the stuff on the GoToStage.com portion that you can click and see, presentations, etc. So we try and have that as well. With that, I'd like to open it up for questions that we may have, and just make sure we answered all the questions. And if you didn't get it and you ran out of time or for whatever reason, please reach out to us. Either Roman on the west, Rich in the central, Mark in the east, or myself even. Please feel free to reach out to us with questions that you may have or things that you need from us to see if we can. But how about some questions?
Yeah, there's a really great question that came in from our buddy Will over on Roman's coast out there. But he was talking about Alexa Guard and kind of the integration with Alexa Guard inside the Ring application itself. And the great thing that I love, and I think Will is alluding to here, is the fact that with an Alexa or with a Ring Protect Plus plan, you have Alexa Guard integration automatically. which gives you that glass break sensing. It gives you all that kind of really cool capability that our integration base has always been asking for, and we've enabled just as a result of that integration itself. So really cool stuff that's happening. Big shout out to Will and the team out there. They're doing some amazing work. But we really appreciate the information. There was another question, and maybe I'll turn this over to Rich. Does Ring integrate with a SIP phone system?
I will answer that with one simple word. No. Stay tuned. We've got some things in the works, but today, Google is your friend, but Ring does not officially support a SIP system just yet. We did get another question from Tim, and Gary could probably answer this, but it's fine. Is there a way I could rewatch this training at my own pace? This is recorded, and we will be able to go back and watch this for you guys. And there was one that was a really good question. Someone asked about the drone. It's not a drone. It's an always home cam. Those products will be coming out shortly. And the new doorbell camera, I actually have it here. We just got these in, and I'll show you a quick little thing. This is just kind of setting the bar for the next layer of, or the next generation of Ring cameras. This is, if you guys have not read it, this is the $59 Ring doorbell wired. It'll be coming out later for the Snap AV locals for stock, but it is considered the Ring Video Doorbell 2020 without a battery, and it does not ring a mechanical chime. So consider it a lot smaller. That it has to have power as well as a chime or an Alexa device in the home in order to have audible Ring notifications.
Man, Rich, you just used the word Reddit and stock in the same sentence. I don't know if that's something that you should be doing at this point, but there's some great things that have happened. Another question that came in: how to swap out legacy outdoor flow with a Ring Spotlight cam that is switched. What should we do in this sense, Rich?
Trying to find out where that was. How to swap out legacy outdoor flood with a Ring Spotlight cam that is switched. Outside of doing it physically, removing the floodlight cam, the outdoor flood with a spotlight cam that is switched, you simply leave the switch on. If you have any indication or any concern with the homeowner, say, flipping that switch and leaving it off, they make a switch guard. It's like 50 cents available at a hardware store, and it's a simple plastic housing. And so the only way to take it off is to unscrew the security screws, and then you can switch it off. But that's the only way to really say that. But if you're talking about switching an outdoor flood with, say, a round junction box to a square junction box with a spotlight cam, they make adapters. I don't really have any other feedback unless Todd knows.
Yeah, no, I think you'd have to use an adapter at some point.
Got it.
Yep. Awesome. We saw another question come in. Jesse, my man, how you doing, man? It's great to see you on this call. Yeah. Also another person that does some amazing work out there. So he had a question around the Savant integration, if it would require a license. Rich, do you want to kind of allude to that?
Yeah, so Savant does sell those licenses independently, and that it does work with Ring X, but it also works with all Ring products, legacy forward. So you just simply get that Ring license, and that would work for any Ring product since it's a cloud integration.
Excellent. Awesome. Great questions coming in. Sorry, good.
I am here, guys. I just wanted to say hi. So I had typed an answer for Frank Ziskowski, for Frank Z. Earlier, he was asking about a hold open feature for the access controller product. So I was mentioning to him, we will have some updates, some feature updates coming out later this month. So I was going to say that, why don't we, Frank, why don't we take it offline, and I'll see if I can provide you some feature updates as soon as we're ready to share.
It's a highly requested piece, technology to hold open, and to have a hold open with our Ring Access Controller Pro. So that's a real good question. Good insight.
Will it wasn't really a question, it was more of a statement. Alexa randomly turning off Lutron Caseta lights in away mode. 100% agree with you. It happens at my house, but there is a setting in Alexa that says vacation mode, and vacation mode will turn whenever it's in away mode. It will turn those lights on or off throughout the day to indicate. It's a lot less, put it this way, it's a lot less sexy than Lutron does it. Lutron's away mode and their vacation mode works really, really well, and I use it at my house for Caseta. But yeah, you would just simply uncheck the that integration within the skill to have it not turn off those Caseta lights in away mode.
Excellent. There was a bunch of questions that came in about integrations with the likes of Crestron and Elan, and whether we have anything planned. And to answer that question is that we're always working with other manufacturers that are out there, other integration partners, and always looking at ways that we can integrate moving forward. So yeah, if there's any companies that you want to see us integrate with, do two things. One, beat it down Rich, Roman, Todd's head, make sure that we actually hear you, right? And the second thing is actually go to those manufacturers as well. If there's enough people talking about this kind of stuff, then it allows us to make sure that we push those integrations further, faster, right? So we love integrating with others, and you can kind of see by what we presented today. But yes, if there is other integrations that you want to see happen, please let us know.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, there is not any manufacturer we don't want to work with. We're open to everybody. So if it hasn't already been announced, it's either in works or we've gotten nothing on the other side. So we do want to work with everybody.
Definitely. Well, look, again, I appreciate all the great questions. That tells me you guys are absolutely engaged and are using Ring in your installs, and we appreciate that. We do. I know I speak for my team when I say we are just scratching the surface of what we think we can do within this industry and making your become a bigger part of your everyday install. So appreciate the time and effort and energy you guys put into working with Ring. And again, if there's any questions we didn't answer, please feel free. Todd.Towey, TODD.TOWEY at ring.com. And I'll make sure I do the best to answer the questions that you have. So appreciate the time. And Gary, think the world of you and what you're putting here together. I'm really happy to be a part of it. So thank you so much for allowing us the platform to educate the dealers in and around the U.S.
By all means, guys, you've given us such an incredible team, Todd. Seriously, no, you guys, it's watching Mark refer to Rich and like, hey, he's been working on this for years. Talk about peering behind the curtain and working on features for years. I mean, this is the type of support that you guys genuinely know your product through and throughout. So we feel that. Thank you guys so much. Everybody, I'm going to put the contact information for all of these gentlemen on my email tonight. Yes, that we did record this session. Yes, I'm going to give you the entire slide deck. And gentlemen, why don't we do this in 4 hours?
Okay. Sounds good. We're in.
All right, we're going to do this again. So anybody on this, if you missed anything or you want to make sure that you pass it to a team member, get their butts back on here in 4 hours. And we're going to be doing this once again. This is a Ring day for us, guys. Okay. So, again, thank you guys so much. Let's wrap this thing up. Pass your questions forward. Look for our emails. Todd, Roman, Mark, and Rich, of course. Thank you guys for your expertise. We'll see you guys in a little while, all right? Be safe out there, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Be safe.
Thanks, everyone.